Frank was not just any man. He was handsome, charming, and had an irresistible smile that could light up the darkest corners of the night. Wherever he went, heads turned and hearts fluttered. Frank was well aware of his effect on women, and he loved it. To him, love was a game, and he was the ultimate player. Every day, Frank walked through the city, effortlessly catching the eye of every woman he passed. He wore the finest clothes, drove a flashy car, and always had a clever line ready to sweep someone off their feet. But beneath that handsome exterior lay a heart that was as cold as ice. Frank had a habit of treating women poorly, pretending to love them, only to discard them cruelly when he was done. His charm was a mask for his selfishness. One sunny afternoon, Frank met up with his best friend Toby at a local cafe. The air was filled with the aroma of fresh coffee and pastries, and laughter bubbled around them as friends gathered to enjoy their day. Frank lounged back in his chair, exuding confidence as he recounted his latest conquest to Toby. "I tell you, bro, Toby, I can charm any woman I meet," Frank boasted, a mischievous grin spreading across his face. "Just last week, I had Joanne wrapped around my finger in less than a day." Toby raised an eyebrow, sipping his coffee. "Really, Joanne? The one who is always talking about true love and commitment? You must be dreaming, bro." "No, I'm serious," Frank replied, leaning forward. "I had her eaten out of my palm. She thinks I am the one for her, and I haven't even told her my real name yet." Toby chuckled. "You are unbelievable, bro." "But what if she finds out? She will break your heart just as easily as you broke hers." "Please," Frank waved his hand dismissively. "It's all part of the game, bro. The thrill of the chase is what makes it exciting. Besides, I have a new challenge. You see those 3 friends who just moved to the neighborhood just last week? I bet I can sleep with all 3 of them, Amara, Zuri, and Tia, without them finding out they are all dating the same guy." Toby leaned back in his chair, intrigued. "That's a bold bet, bro. How do you plan to pull that off?" Frank leaned in closer, his eyes glinting with mischief. "Simple. I will just change my name and persona for each one. They will never suspect it." With that, the bet was set, and Frank was filled with a sense of excitement. He couldn't wait to prove that he was not only a charming player, but also a master of deception. He was convinced he would emerge victorious, leaving behind a trail of broken hearts and shattered dreams. Amara was the type of girl who believed in fairy tales. With her long, flowing hair and bright smile, she had a heart that was open to love. She dreamed of meeting someone who would sweep her off her feet. And when she first met Frank, she thought her dreams had come true. It was a sunny afternoon when Amara decided to visit a local market. Colorful stalls lined the streets, filled with vibrant fabrics, delicious snacks, and laughter that echoed through the air. As Amara strolled through the market, her eyes sparkled with excitement. Little did she know, a fateful encounter awaited her. As she paused to admire a beautiful necklace, she felt a presence behind her. Turning, she found herself gazing into the captivating eyes of a tall, handsome man. He had a confident smile and an air of charm that made her heart race. "Hi there, I am Alex," he said, extending his hand for a shake. "Amara," she replied, feeling a tingle of excitement as their hands met. "Nice to meet you." "Amara, I've been watching you from afar, and I couldn't resist coming over. You have such a radiant smile, and you look just like an angel. Does God know that you are currently here in this world?" Amara blushed, her cheeks turning a soft shade of pink. "Thank you. I was just admiring this necklace. It's beautiful, isn't it?" Alex nodded, and they started chatting about the market and the unique items for sale. The conversation flowed easily, and Amara found herself laughing at his jokes and feeling more at ease with him. There was something magnetic about Alex that drew her in, and she couldn't help but feel a connection. As the afternoon wore on, Alex suggested they grab some ice cream from a nearby stand. Amara eagerly agreed, her heart fluttering at the thought of spending more time with him. They walked side by side, their hands occasionally brushing against each other, sending shivers down her spine. "Do you come to the market often?" Amara asked, trying to keep the conversation going. "Nah, not really. I'm new in town, just exploring," Alex replied, a hint of mystery in his voice. "But I'm glad I came here today. Meeting you has been the highlight of my week. I am just happy to see you." Amara felt a warm glow inside her. It was like something out of a movie, unexpected yet enchanting. After they finished their ice cream, Alex suggested they take a stroll through the park nearby. They found a quiet bench under a shady tree, and Amara sat down, her heart racing as Alex took a seat next to her. "Can I ask you something?" Alex said, leaning closer. "Sure," Amara replied, intrigued by the intensity in his gaze. "What do you look for in a guy?" he asked, his eyes searching hers. Amara hesitated for a moment, considering her answer. "Well, I want someone who is kind, fun, and honest. Someone who can make me laugh and feel special. Someone who can treat me like a queen that I am." Alex smiled, a charming grin that made her heart flutter. "You deserve all that, my queen, and more," he said softly. "I think you are an amazing person." They talked for what felt like hours, sharing stories about their lives, dreams, and aspirations. Amara was captivated by Alex's charm, feeling as though they were the only two people in the world. As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden light around them, Alex leaned in closer. "Can I kiss you?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Amara's heart raced. "Yes," she breathed, and their lips met in a soft, gentle kiss. It was sweet and magical, and she felt as if she were floating on air. But as quickly as it had begun, the moment faded away. They spent the next hour sharing whispers and laughter, feeling more connected than ever. Amara was convinced that she had found someone special. However, as the darkness fell and the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Amara realized that she had lost track of time. "I should get going," she said reluctantly, glancing at her watch. "Of course," Alex replied, standing up and offering her his hand. They walked back toward the market, and Amara felt a pang of sadness at the thoughts of parting ways. "Can we see each other again?" she asked, hoping he felt the same way. "Definitely, I'll text you," he said, pulling out his phone and saving her number. "I can't wait to see you again." They exchanged one last kiss, and Amara walked away, her heart light and full of hope. She couldn't wait to tell Tia and Zuri about her magical day. One day, he invited her to his house, cooked some delicious meals, and they ate together. Oh, what a beautiful moment they had together as they sat at the living room, the lights fitting the occasion. Frank began to stare into the eyes of Amara. His charming eyes was just so beautiful that she could not resist, and soon the two kissed. One thing led to another, and Amara found herself lost in the passion of the romantic moment. Yes, it happened. Frank slept with Amara that night. But as the days turned into weeks, Amara's excitement slowly turned into confusion. Alex never called. She tried texting him, but there was no reply. Each passing day felt heavier, and doubt began to creep in. How could someone who seemed so perfect disappear without a trace? Amara confided in Tia and Zuri, sharing every detail of her brief romance with Alex. "He was everything I wanted, and now he's gone," she lamented, her voice thick with disappointment. "I feel so foolish." Zuri shook her head. "You are not foolish, Amara. He is the one who messed up. You deserve someone who values you." As the weeks dragged on, Amara grappled with the heartache of being ghosted by someone she thought could be special. She replayed their moments together in her mind, trying to find answers. How could someone so charming and sweet hurt her so easily? It felt like a betrayal, and she struggled to come to terms with it. Amara couldn't help but wonder if there were others like her, if Alex was playing a game with her heart. As she lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, she thought about how it was possible for someone to pretend so easily. The confusion and sadness weighed heavily on her, making her feel vulnerable and lost. Little did Amara know that her experience was just the beginning of a much larger story, one that would unfold in ways she never expected. The connection she felt with Frank, or rather Alex, was only a stepping stone in a tale of friendship, betrayal, and ultimately empowerment. Zuri was known for her strong personality and infectious laughter. She had always been the glue that held a group of friends together, and she prided herself on being the one who could lift anyone's spirits. But after watching her best friend Amara suffer heartbreak from the charming yet deceitful Frank, Zuri felt a dark cloud hovering over her usually vibrant world. One evening, while sitting at a cozy cafe with Amara and Tia, Zuri noticed Amara's eyes were still shadowed with sadness. "I can't believe that guy just disappeared like that," Zuri said, staring into her eyes. "You deserve better, Amara." "Thanks, Zuri," Amara replied with a weak smile. "I just don't understand how someone can pretend to be so perfect and then vanish." Tia nodded in agreement. It's not right. He is a player, and we have to make sure no one else falls for his tricks. Just then, a handsome man walked into the cafe. His presence commanding attention. Zuri's heart skipped a beat. He had a charming smile and confidence that radiated from him. What if that's him? She whispered, her eyes wide with curiosity. That's not possible, Amara said, shaking her head. I hope not. Zuri leaned back, intrigued but cautious. They continued chatting, but she couldn't shake the image of the stranger from her mind. The way he carried himself reminded her of everything Amara had described about Frank. The idea of a charming man who swept women off their feet was thrilling yet frightening. As days passed, Zuri often found herself thinking about that moment in the cafe. The man's captivating aura had sparked something in her, and she began to wonder if she could find love too. But she also felt a sense of responsibility to look out for her friends. If Frank was as bad as Amara said, she needed to tread carefully. Then, one afternoon, while running errands at a local bookstore, Zuri spotted him again. The same handsome man from the cafe. This time, he was looking at a book on a shelf. Zuri's heart raced as she approached him. Excuse me, I think we met the other day at the cafe, she said, trying to sound casual. He turned, and a smile spread across his face. Hey, my name is Prince, he said, extending his hand. Zuri shook his hand, feeling a rush of excitement. I am Zuri. It's nice to see you again. Nice to meet you, Zuri. I come here often. I love reading, he replied, his voice smooth and inviting. Zuri felt a spark of connection, but a tiny voice in her head reminded her of Amara's heartbreak. What do you like to read? She asked, trying to keep the conversation light. I enjoy adventure novels, but I'm always up for something new, he said. What about you? They chatted about their favorite books and authors, and Yuri felt her walls beginning to crumble. Prince seemed different. He listened attentively, making her feel valued and understood. Would you like to grab some coffee sometime? Prince suggested. I would love to continue our conversation. Zuri hesitated for a moment. She thought of Amara and how Frank had deceived her. But the allure of Prince's charm was too strong. Sure, that sounds great. They exchanged numbers, and Zuri walked away feeling happy. But beneath the excitement lay a flicker of doubt. Was she falling for the same tricks that had hurt her friend? Over the next few weeks, Zuri and Prince went out several times. Each time, he showered her with compliments, making her feel special. They shared laughs and intimate moments, and Zuri couldn't help but feel drawn to him. It was as if he was weaving a spell around her, making her forget the warning signs. One evening, they sat together in a park, the soft glow of street lights illuminating their faces. Zuri felt a sense of comfort with Prince, and she leaned in closer. You know, I really enjoy spending time with you, she said. I feel the same way, Zuri, he replied, his gaze intense. You are simply amazing. But just as she began to believe she had found something real, everything changed. Zuri received a text from Amara, and as she read it, her heart sank. After Zuri read the message, she turned to Prince and said, "A friend told me she met someone named Alex, and the description she gave fits you. And now, I'm starting to wonder if you are the same guy. I need to know," she said, feeling her heart thump loudly in her chest. Frank looked shocked for a moment. He smiled and said, "No, my name is Prince and not Alex. Trust me, Zuri. I love you and I will never hurt you," he said, looking seriously. Zuri rarely believed him, but because of how serious he looked, she was convinced. Later that night, when Zuri reached home, she tried calling Frank, but his line was off. This she did for days, but to no avail. Frank's sudden disappearance left Zuri heartbroken. In no time, she realized she had been fooled by Frank. She explained everything to Amara, and it was at that moment they both realized Alex or Prince is just the same person. The two cried effortlessly and after comforted each other. Frank has had his way with both Amara and Zuri, but the story is far from over. What is going to happen between Tia and Frank? Will Frank be able to win the bet, or what will become of Frank? Dear viewer, if you enjoyed this part and you want me to release the part 2 of this story, kindly do not forget to hit the subscribe button, and also let me see you comment part 2 in the comments below. Thank you for watching.